how about them tops, son?
All day, SEC boys. SEC, they supposed to be SEC. Where's the other, baby?
You're listening to the Red Out Podcast.
Welcome into another Red Out Podcast. I'm Jake.
Hey, Devin in the house, and old dependable Jared here.
Merry Christmas, my dudes.
Merry Christmas.
to you too.
And as always, for our listeners, we want to thank you all for listening and supporting us. As always, subscribe and like on YouTube, and subscribe if you're listening on iTunes. And send us your comments or questions. We'll be glad to answer them on air.
Yeah, on air. It would be funny to do a live reaction one time.
I would love to have people write in, but my people are like posting funny stuff. So
I have
don't
sent
have
the
anything.
link to my board member for like the 9th time. He
Oh,
always
really?
asks me- yeah. So George, if you're listening,
Yeah. Hey, glad to have you, George.
yeah, comment on YouTube.
Yeah. So, winners and losers. I don't have any because I'm been Christmas shopping.
And
And
still have Christmas gifts to buy.
see, I am so appreciative of the philosophy of Thanos that I would love to just snap and half the world be gone because I hate traffic. That sounds really
dude,
genocidal, but I just...
Right after that movie, I was like, he's right, you know.
Oh, dude, I was like, man, he is so wrong, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, Christmas, I'm like, God, I hate these people. Where do they all come from?
We need a new plague. And then you're like, oh, I get it. So that's why Thanos is so
That's
upset.
what it was. He
He's
was Christmas shopping and he got mad.
Absolutely. Now, I do have winners and losers.
Okay, go for it, buddy.
Because I still have Christmas shopping to do, which we're going to be doing tomorrow night and Saturday. So, y'all, if you're the praying type, please pray for me.
Yeah, he sounds awful.
And my pregnant wife will be walking around with me.
There you go.
Poor thing.
Hey, you're a hilltopper though, man. You got that clutch gene. You're fine.
That's
That's
true.
right.
That's true. So, loser for me, I'll start with the not as fun, WKU seed line. If we end up making the tournament, losing to another sub 150 Ken Palm / sub 200 Sagarin ranked team in Troy State. I will not stop saying it. I do not care. Go back and read that Assassin Adversary on Troy if you haven't.
And on the towel rack, yes.
On the tower, because screw them. Burn it down. I don't care. Yeah, it's just bad. We'll get into it. It's bad, and a loss like that, even if we do make the tournament, which at this point you have to either go completely undefeated and blow everyone out of the water, or win the conference championship. My winner, even though he lost in his game, he won the press conference and the heart of this guy right here.
Jake is a complete heel. He loves the heels.
Penny Hardaway. Dude.
For those of you who don't know wrestling terms, a heel is the bad guy. So, yeah.
Look, I don't care. I'm here for all of it. For those of you that don't know, Memphis and Tennessee had a rivalry basketball game, and Tennessee won, but there was some drama during the game, some technicals that may or may not have been called, some people starting some stuff.
Some flopping.
But Penny Hardaway said it wasn't flopping. We don't do that. We just play smart, which is my favorite answer ever. When guys are like, hey, we're smaller, and we didn't flop, but we played smart.
If you go back and watch, though, the flops were so evident. It's like,
oh, yeah, I mean,
and that's, as a football person, I don't like watching flops because I get so frustrated.
because you're like, no one touched
As a
you.
basketball person, I don't like watching flops. So
See? So Jared's the same way.
So I used to say that I didn't like the thuggish, mean criminal play, and then Jeff Brom's guys would absolutely eviscerate people, and then I'm like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
When it's your people,
It's
you
okay.
like it.
Yeah, well,
and
yeah.
when it's the other team, they're a bunch of criminals and thugs.
Exactly. That
So,
makes sense.
so now when I see flopping, I'm just like,
I wish they would teach punters to do it more.
yeah, right.
I'm serious.
Seriously,
If somebody
though.
comes within a yard of you as a punter, those refs are not paying attention.
1 or 30
you just
yards away.
flip. Just
Yeah,
flip
slow down.
and hold your leg, and they will throw a flag every
Hey,
time.
but today when we talk about football, we got an Australian rugby soccer
Right,
player.
mate. That's
So-
awesome. That was my
Man, I'm
attempt.
so hyped.
yeah. We'll let you that be your favorite football player. But no, Penny.
He was.
But so Penny's thing, he talked mad trash in the press conference, and
Which I
then
like.
as he's leaving,
He drops an F-bomb.
he says F Rick Barnes or something like that. It's not recorded anywhere because, according to some reporters that were in the room, he actually checked, did the double take, and then dropped the F-bomb.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes. Please,
Yeah.
more Penny Hardaways in
Rick
sport.
Barnes F off is what I heard the quote was.
Is that what it was?
That's what I
Or
heard
he
it
can
was.
F off? Do you have a relationship with him? No, don't have one, don't need one.
No.
We're good. He's a legendary coach. That's all I got to say about that.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, that is amazing though. Jared, what do you got, buddy?
My winner and loser would have to be my Indiana Pacers because they beat the Milwaukee Bucks and the Philadelphia 76ers, looking really good, had like a 7 or 8 game winning streak. Then you go and play back in your own place against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and Jake, as you always say, they peed down their leg and lost to the worst team in the NBA on their own home court and lost their winning streak right before they play Toronto tonight. So God knows what's going to happen. See, this is my life. Like, all of my teams are the same. Like, Western basketball is like the same as the Pacers almost, as far as like they beat the good teams but can't beat the bad teams. And I'm just like, why is this my life?
It's the Rosdeutscher curse.
It is.
It is.
It
has
truly
to
is.
Dude, that sounds like just a...
I have always wanted to get into the NBA, but I just can't. I don't know what it is.
It took me a long time. Like, I was a Grizzlies fan when Courtney Lee was there for a little bit. But, I mean, my dad was never into it much, except, like, when the Larry Bird was on the Celtics. That was his team. So, I mean, I have family in Indianapolis, and I like it up there a lot. So, I was like, I'll be a Pacers fan. And I went to a game, and that sold me over. So,
I can see that. I mean, that's a good rationalization.
It's a better reason than me liking Golden State.
Yes, I don't like Golden State.
I literally just picked them because they're in the same town as the 49ers. That's literally it.
But Jake has the
that's
empire.
better than picking them because they have Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Draymond Green.
I like Durant.
That's the secret reason why Jake likes them.
No, I did like him before Durant, though. I will say that because I thought Steph Curry was awesome.
Who's your favorite baseball team?
Used to be the Yankees.
Yeah. So
that's your dad's fault.
I mean,
it was your dad's fault.
See, my grandfather on my dad's side loved the Yankees, and so as a white person, I just carry on, and they're like, "Who do you like in baseball?" And I say, "The Yankees."
Nah, I pulled all my professional teams to San Francisco, so now I have switched to the Giants.
Now, see, I always liked Jeter, and that's the reason I like the Yankees was because of Derek Jeter, because he was such a classy individual. You didn't hear anything bad out of Derek Jeter, and
the best Derek Jeter story ever.
Okay, tell your Derek Jeter story.
This is not. No one except for a few women have come out and said that during certain times where certain relations may be happening, that Derek Jeter likes to repeat this phrase.
Oh my God. I'm
all Jeets. Yeah, Jeets.
So
he gives himself.
He says this?
He says
they
that.
said it. Oh.
He says that.
Oh my God.
Jeets. He gives himself a pep talk.
Jeets.
He gives himself a pep talk. Talk himself up a little bit.
That is the greatest thing I've ever heard.
I have no idea if that's true. It's just a couple of girls that may or may not know him at some point. That's like him and...
And that's biblically, no.
Yes. Yeah. We're not going any more details.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Yeah, Jeets. Oh, Jeets.
Jeets.
Yes.
Yeah, Jeets.
It says that she's like... I started just laughing. Because what do you do? Like, you just start, is this happening right? Is this real life?
Yeah. I'm not going to go any further.
Yeah. They really didn't want to either.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you just go, okay. I guess my winner-loser would be Memphis flopping, but other than that, I don't have anything else.
Winner, because the scores points. Loser, because...
If you don't draw the foul, then you're a loser. Just because
you look dumb and it didn't work.
So I guess we'll do good news, bad news in this kind of situation here. And since we're kind of negative here, we'll go bad news first. Let's do basketball.
Yeah, right? Which we didn't think we'd have to say that much this season.
I mean, preseason, we were so hyped.
Yeah.
I mean, Bassey and everybody, and it was like, all right, this is so exciting. And then we have moments, like Jake and Jared say, where we pee down our legs, and then we have moments where we
pee on their legs.
Yeah, I mean, we just go off.
Yep.
Arkansas, West Virginia, I mean, those two teams right there, Power 5 teams, supposedly, and Western just dominates. And then you have Troy State, which I'm going to continue to call them just because you did. And
can we make that a thing? Can we always refer to Troy as Troy State?
We'll have to make a note and put it on the wall.
Yeah.
And then Missouri State, Troy State, Missouri State. I mean,
all the state schools. I don't understand.
And even Central Florida, which was that Central Florida we lost in the tournament?
Yeah.
The Myrtle Invitational. Yeah. Taco. But all those games you would be like, if you see it on paper, I would think we'll lose Arkansas, we'll lose West Virginia, but we'll beat those three.
Yeah.
On paper, you would think, but
That's why they
So
play the
depressing.
games. It is, and it was
And,
depressing.
and on paper, we look a lot better than 5-5 as well, as far as like the talent and stuff that we have on this roster. It's just all young talent too, which it doesn't help that the two of our best guards are kind of in a sophomore slump with Hollingsworth and Anderson. Like they've had some good games where they went off, but like holistically this season, like they just haven't done as good. Like Hollingsworth was struggling really bad on Sunday. Thankfully, I didn't see the game, but my parents went, and I got the scouting report from my dad essentially. And it was not pretty.
Well, I'll take his word for it because he's a Larry Bird fan. So
My thing was like they just came out and pretty much admitted, yeah, we just didn't think we had to play hard.
and that's the mentality I feel
That's a
like.
loser mindset.
Yeah.
That's a lazy mindset.
Yeah,
That's what
absolutely.
irks me is because it's like you look at this other team and you're like, they ain't worth it. And it's like,
We'll just
no,
come out,
dude.
we'll fart around, we'll play some pickup basketball, and it'll be good. No, it won't be good.
No.
They're going to whip you on your home floor.
They did.
it's just like-
87-81,
And
which
it's
is
just-
so
well, and,
sad.
And here's the deal. It wasn't even that close.
No.
Because when they started to play, we made up a lot of ground.
Yeah.
But the problem is, late game, you don't have it. You had to close too much ground in too short of a time. And by the way, when do we get to stop making bad shooting teams look good? Can we just like make a pact that we're not going to do that? That we're going to pressure 3-point shooters because they came in shooting 31% from three. 31% from three. They were not a good 3-point shooting team. In fact, I noted in the article, it's like, they actually make most of the guys that are scoring points are their forwards, and they out-rebound teams, so, maybe it's good. Yeah, no, they just went and lit us the heck up.
So it was more like
Freaking
we
nice.
just made them look like superstars because
I mean, yeah, we just played. I mean, again, I didn't watch because I was actually Christmas shopping at that point in time. I was in Bowling Green, Christmas shopping. But we just, I do not understand how you have a team. Yeah, they came in shooting 31.8. They shot 17% better almost.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Almost shooting 50% from three. That's laziness. That's, I don't know, poor scheming. At least Stansbury went off on them in the press conference.
Western
Well,
shot.
Stansbury needs to have a better defensive philosophy than just assuming the other team is going to miss their shots.
Yeah,
And,
right.
I mean, there's a lot of open looks. Like, I think he really needs to change it up to a man-to-man, especially with the good three-point shooting teams like Belmont tonight. I'm terrified to what's going to happen to this team tonight.
Well, and that's the deal too. We're playing teams that are less athletic than us. So playing man defense, you would think, would give us an advantage because you can be all over them. You can gas them and harass them.
Yep.
Didn't even rhyme there. I should have thought of a third word. The entire night.
Harass, gas,
snap.
and spank that.
Yeah, there you go. But you would think they'd be able to do that because seriously, if you look like our median height, we're taller than a lot of teams we're playing. We're more athletic than teams we're playing.
We have a point guard that's 6'8".
Yeah, for the love of God, we got a point guard at 6'8". Put him on that 5'11" white kid and make him drive.
Yep. Let me get my notes out here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Devin
if
is
you
burning.
look, if you look at that, I mean, Western shot 40%, and then they shot 22% from three. That is awful.
By the way, guys, stop taking threes. Stop taking threes. You guys can't shoot the three. Stop trying to make your living off of it. If they're falling, great. Go for it. If you let Omer out there and he goes off, which is not going to happen, but if he does, cool. Shoot your shot if you're feeling it. But for the love of God, you got Charles Bassey down there.
Yeah.
Give him the ball. And by the way, Charles, good pass to Merrick to beat Arkansas. Let's keep that up.
Yeah.
When they collapse, that means there's other humans open. Pass the ball.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, if you look at it, Bassey's got 9 rebounds. Of course, Hollingsworth had 12, which is ridiculous.
That's kind of
That's because he was probably getting all of his missed shots that he took.
Yeah,
Could
well,
be
and it's
too.
sad, too. I don't want a guard getting 12 rebounds if my center's only got 9.
He had 12 rebounds, and he missed 5 threes.
Like,
And
why
I'm
is he
like,
taking 5 threes? Why are you taking 5 threes?
Because everybody thinks it's a shooter. You got to be a shooter.
I don't
That's
care.
how it is. And it's like, no, just...
When was Hollingsworth the best last year? When was he absolutely the best? Like the Oklahoma State game. He was the best when he was driving to the basket and going up and under. His little up and under shots were amazing. The English he's able to put on the ball to get it in, like, so good.
Oh, I mean, the numbers just make me so depressed right now, just looking at this. And here's another fact. We only had 3 dudes come off the bench.
Yeah, that's another thing I'm kind of upset about is that Rick Stansbury complained all last season about not having enough players to go deep or anything like that. And now he has like all these extra guys and he's only going like maybe 2 or 3 players deep pretty much every single game. I understand that Horton's had a foot injury and stuff, but I think Mustafa at least needs to see if he could do anything to contribute this year. He's only played in 1 game. But Jake Omer, I know he's been in a slump too. He hasn't even scored a point yet. But I feel like these guys, like, if we were to actually get to a point where we can blow out a team, which I'm really starting to wonder if it will ever happen, but if that were to ever happen, I mean, let these guys get a little bit of playing time and just see what's going to happen. And also, I'm not a fan of Merrick Nelson on the 4 starting, but that's just...
Thank you! Thank you! Because since, like, okay, I'm sorry. I don't like to run a guy down. I'm not trying to say Merrick's a bad basketball player because he's not.
He's not a forward. He's maybe like a small forward, but he is not a forward.
Thank you. He's not a 4. He's at best a big 3, like slasher kind of dude, and we have a better athlete at that position.
Josh Anderson.
You said it.
Bless you.
I have never thought that Merrick really showed a lot of promise for being a starter. I'm sorry, I don't. He's 5 fouls and 4 points. Like, that's what you're getting with the kid. And I mean, now that Murray's gone, I mean, you got to put somebody in there. Yeah. But I'd rather have a bigger body at the 4,
like Tolu,
right?
Yeah, I'd be fine with Tolu. I mean, honestly, if you look at the minutes these guys are getting, Hollingsworth had 39, Savage had 37, and then it goes Bassey 28, which those 3 I'm fine with. Bearden's 26. Anderson had 25 off the bench. And then Merrick Nelson had 20. And then you got 11 and 14. I'm like, and then if you go over to Troy, I mean, of course it's not as even, but at the same time it's like, why can't we kind of platoon this a little more?
Yeah, no, I mean...
I'd be good with a platoon.
You should be able to at this point. At this point in the season, you ought to be comfortable with your bench to go, more than... You should have a better rotation than just 9 guys. I mean, we're not Duke, for God's sakes. It's one of those things where you have to be comfortable with your team in order to actually get some victory. You got to be comfortable and trust the dudes that are coming off the bench more so than just Josh Anderson, right? And Banton only had 14 minutes, and I know Banton's a defensive liability a lot of the time, but I don't know, man. Something's got to change. They've got to play with better intensity. Stansbury's got to have a better defensive game plan. I mean, we scored 81 points. Offensively, we are okay.
But my thing is, and correct me if I'm wrong, what was it, 2 minutes to go, we had 69 points, and they threw on those 12 points like that.
And because they're playing freaking Troy State, and they could have beat them if they come out with their foot down. This isn't a game.
Yeah.
But they came out.
They coasted, and that's the whole thing. They coasted, and it's like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, and it's just frustrating. I sincerely hope that tonight we all are shocked and awed, and we come out of Belmont with a victory for the first time in 5 years.
I mean, that is kind of the trend, though, because, I mean, we thought they were going to get beat by West Virginia and Arkansas, and then, hey, you never know.
And that's what I was telling Jake before the show. I'm like, Belmont is, 8-1, 4-0 in their conference, and it could happen.
I'm sincerely hoping they still.
I think they'll play with them.
I hope they're high off UCLA still. That's the only thing that you can hope for, and this is it. They're still high off that UCLA win. Western's pissed because they lost to a school that dropped state from their name like a decade ago. And
it was more than that, but
13 years, whatever.
It was not Troy State when I was there.
It's writing that article is difficult because there's not like a lot of stuff like about Troy other than have astronauts. Like it's a pretty little campus with a golf course and a pretty little college town.
If you go to Troy, if you're heading north to south, you will go through probably one of the largest trailer parks in the history of ever.
Dude, I wish I would have known I was writing an article.
I was trying to tell you that, but anyway, it's all good.
Okay, well, if we play any more Sunbelt schools, I'm going to ask you.
You just asked me about my fun facts about that
Sunbelt
school.
schools,
yes.
Absolutely. Next year.
Yes. Next year. But I think we'll play with Belmont. They've got a -8 right now, and we've got, 8 minutes?
I'd lay money on that. Guys,
I would.
Well, you're listening in the past, so this game's over now.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying.
You should have.
Yeah, you should have laid money on Belmont. I'm sorry.
So, Jared, what do you think of Belmont?
Yeah, they scare me a lot because, Jake, I took your spot with assessing the adversary for Belmont.
Appreciate
I had a little bit of prior knowledge of them. They're somewhat local school down in Nashville, Southside, that kind of stuff. I have it's a music school too, so I was kind of glad to be able to talk about musical things and all of that. But as far as their basketball program is, they've been on a really high level the past several seasons, probably since 2010. I know they've gone to the NCAA tournament several times since then, and they're still on that upward trend. They were projected to finish first in the OVC, despite Murray with one of the best point guards in the nation on their team right now. But Belmont, they have this really good senior leader. His name's Dylan Windler. Dude's almost averaging 20 points per game and 9 boards to go with that. And they have 5 players that average double figures, including him. So any of those guys could go off and score God knows how many points. I just hope it's not all 5 of them going off and scoring God knows how many points. But, they're always a good 3-point shooting team. And our defense on 3 has been atrocious up to this point. And my expectations are extremely low for Western tonight.
Looking at points, I agree with everything you're saying. Windler's leading them in field goals, and he shoots 74% free throws. Of course, I think Bassie, what is he at? He's got to be way up there, too.
He does. Yeah, Bassie, that's one of the best things about Bassie is you can't hack-a-shack him.
No, he's not a hack-a-shack at all. Of course, Bassie's got 9.5 rebounds per game, about 6 on defense, and 3 on offense. And, of course, Windler, this dude is all-around good player because he's almost got 9 rebounds per game, 6 defense, 2 on offense. That's crazy for a guard. I think.
No, that's what that shows is a guard with a motor and who's tough.
He's a guard that goes after his shot or somebody else's. Yeah.
Yep. Which is what you want out of your guards.
Exactly. Of course, Hollingsworth has the assists for Western being the guard, and Grayson Murphy has got it for Belmont. I don't know if Western will win this because, of course, ESPN's kind of biased, but 63% to 36% for Western. But I think it'll be a lot closer because it is Belmont. You don't think so? Jake
we haven't beat them in the past 4 years.
They have beat the brakes off us. Yeah, they haven't always just pounded us. Devin's looking at their team stat. Their points per game ran at 90.6. Yeah.
Oh my God! Go get the defibrillator.
And by the way, let's see. What do they have their 3 percentage up there?
I just got field goal.
They're shooting 50%, pretty much. Not on 3, but they're shooting 50% overall. I'm sorry. Can Western win this game? Absolutely, Western win this game. Western has the talent to beat almost any team in the country, short of the top 10. But I don't see. We're there.
I'm a positive Pete here, I guess.
I guess I'd rather be pleasantly surprised. You know what I mean? Which is not how I am in the rest of life, but it's how I am with
we
sports.
are so much on the same wavelength. When you're a pessimist, either you're going to be proved right or you're going to be correct when everything just goes south. So, it's a win-win.
And that's the thing. I'm not that way in the rest of my life. I'm pretty positive, optimistic dude with existence, except when it comes to sports, especially teams that I care about. I'm nope. And that's what I was listening to a podcast on the way over here, and that's what he talks about. This dude supports Virginia, and he's I know they're going to have a great regular season in basketball, and they're going to choke in the tournament. He's and I know that. So if they don't choke in the tournament, I'm super happy.
Yeah.
And it's I have this evidence that says this. I'm not going to go against that until proven wrong. If Western beats the brakes off of Belmont, beats the pants off St. Mary's, I'm maybe we're playing up to our potential now.
Yeah, the points per game is what scares me the most.
Yeah, almost 91. 90.
Western's sitting at 72, almost 73. The only stat that Western and Belmont share is blocks per game at 5.1 for Western and 5.3 for Belmont.
How does Belmont have 5.3 blocks per game?
I don't know.
How is that possible?
But they almost have as many steals per game.
That I don't.
Western's got 7.8. Belmont has 8.2.
That I don't. Which, granted, on Western side, that impresses me. That's good.
Yeah.
Belmont's probably got a bunch of little crafty white guards.
Where is Belmont?
It's in Nashville.
Oh, is it Nashville?
Yeah,
okay.
It's a Nashville school.
Oh,
yeah,
wow,
it's a little
okay.
private school in Nashville. Very good academically, like Jared said, very musically talented. And they shoot the crap out of the 3.
Makes sense. Okay.
And they pretty much run the OVC.
Well, I could see that, yeah.
Them and Murray.
I could very easily see that. The Racers and the Bears. Bruins.
That's why they called UCLA the Battle of the Bruins. Because
The Bears. But
Da
anyway.
Bears.
Okay.
Go Iggy. Enough sadness.
I know, enough sadness. Did somebody have some St. Mary's trivia, or do they want to save that?
Ooh, no, let's go ahead and do that. Here's the fun question for you guys. Like, the 3 goggles. I mean, everybody knows what the 3 goggles are at this point. Like, you drain a 3, and the OK symbol's going over your eyes, and you're boasting. But there are 2 players that are credited to creating that. Try to see if you can come up with either one of those.
There's no way I'm going to come up with
I'll
this
never
now.
get this. No.
Dude, I have no idea who played for St. Mary's, and I don't know anything about the NBA.
Just in general, it's technically 2 NBA players, but one of them does have that St. Mary's tie. So
God, I don't know, like Ray Allen or something. I don't know.
It would be Ray Allen. I knew better than that.
Just take a shot in the dark.
I'll throw one out like Jake just did. I'll say Steve Nash.
Those are good guesses. I mean, he's
No, they
a
weren't.
white
Those are
kid.
terrible
St.
guesses.
Mary's is it's like Belmont as far as shooting the 3 and white people goes. But it's actually credited
you guessed the white guy.
I did.
Portland. Wait, was that?
No, you're good. Go ahead. Say what you got.
Okay, sorry. There's 2 players that are technically accredited for it. They were on the Portland Trail Blazers in the 2010-2011 season. Rudy Fernandez, and St. Mary's, probably their best alum up to this point, is Patty Mills. Patty Mills is one of my favorite basketball players because it goes back to the whole Australia thing, and I really like Australia. And he's just like a really cool person in general. But those 2 got it, and the reason why they started the 3 goggles was because Mills and his teammates would poke fun at Fernandez, but when he would be struggling shooting the 3, indicating he can't see very well. So when Fernandez started sinking 3s, they would make the goggles over their heads.
Like, you can finally see.
Skill. And then it says Fernandez's perspective, when he started to heat up from downtown, he would put on the goggles to show Mills his vision was okay, and it took off from there.
That is hilarious. Yeah, that was the only white person I know in the NBA is Steve Nash.
The only white guy.
Yeah,
They're all every player from St. Mary's, I feel like, that's been really good from there has been Australian, which is really interesting.
That's a really odd, pipeline to have.
Yeah, it's because
Devin's going to do really bad Australian accents.
Yes.
Like, he just sounds British.
Yeah, it could be really bad, yeah. Crikey. That's really interesting, actually. I had no idea about the goggles. Now, I can tell you... I can tell you who was in the Music City Miracle, the quarterback. Do you know who that was? I can tell
you who was in the Miami Miracle. Let's go.
Let's go.
Steve McNair was the quarterback during the
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you anything about basketball. I'm awful about that. I know who saved the Looney Tunes. That's all that matters. By God.
His special juice, his secret stuff.
That was Michael Jordan.
God. Didn't have the secret stuff. Bugs had secret stuff.
Yeah, but it was Michael's secret stuff.
Well, it was Michael's secret stuff, but Bugs is the one that came up with it.
This is what you listen for, is our debates.
Are either of you going to watch the next one with LeBron?
Is there really going to be one with LeBron? I've always heard rumors, but I don't know if it's true.
I'm pretty sure that's actually
Well, that's why he went to the Lakers, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's right down the road now.
So he could go right to Hollywood and go, I want a Looney Tunes thing. This will cement my legacy.
LeBron James is a much better actor than Michael Jordan, so it will probably be
He is actually really good.
Because he's a funny dude.
Have you seen Trainwreck?
No, but I've seen some of his bits in it, and
You should. The love interest of... I don't like Amy Schumer either.
Yeah, I hate
the love interest of Amy Schumer is a physical therapist who works with the Cavs. And so he has to work with LeBron a lot, and LeBron is actually really good in that. I watched that movie, and I was very impressed with him.
Yeah, he's. I mean, you see him in like press conference stuff. He's a super duper smart, articulate dude.
Yeah.
He's a lot funnier than like in press conferences than like Jordan was.
Well, Jordan was
funny on the court.
Jordan was so crazy. I mean, like the stuff you hear now, like 20 years later, you're like, good God, making people cry and stuff.
Yeah, because he's a turd.
Yeah, he is.
He's a terrible creature.
There's a turd in the punch bowl, but he wanted to win.
But he was real good.
Yeah, I mean, he could back it up.
I mean, you kind of get to be a turd when you're like one of the greatest of all time.
And he is. He will be the GOAT, not even because of what LeBron will do on the court, but because he came after Jordan. If LeBron had gone first, LeBron would be the one right now. I will
submit that they better have a better argument than rings, because if so, Oscar Robinson wins. Or not Oscar Robinson, Bill Russell, sorry. Bill Russell wins.
Yeah.
Because he's got, 10? 10 championships with the Celtics?
Yeah, he has at least 10.
Yeah, he's at 10 championships.
And that's counting the national championship he won at San Francisco in college.
Yeah. So they better bring a better argument. That's my only criticize of Jordan GOAT arguments is Count them rings, baby. Count them rings. It's like you can count the rings.
Scottie Pippen.
And then
Dennis Rodman.
And then
Scottie
count
Pippen,
the rings on the other hand.
Yeah.
Bill Russell.
Yeah, I mean.
Now, granted, he played in a different era, and which is what everybody for like Jordan says. Well, we played in a different era. It's harder to play then. Okay, well,
it's a different era now.
Is,
I'll give you that.
It's different every time you compare players. It's difficult to compare players.
Well, I mean, now it's a shooting league. They want 3-point shooters like Steph, which greatest story I've ever heard. You talked about Jeter earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Steph, supposedly, if he shoots more than 7 threes, makes more than 7 threes a game, his wife will have sex with him whenever he wants.
I can see that.
And I'm like, sweetie, honey, can we make this deal? And she's like, hell no.
If you make 7 threes,
I will go out. I've got a basketball goal on the side of my house. I will go out and shoot 7 threes.
Devin is now shooting 78% from 3. I have no idea why. He's lost 22 pounds.
Kara! You've been out there for 6 hours. You better hit more than 7 in that time period. Okay.
Oh, there's definitely a time limit.
Yeah, there's got to be a time limit. So the good news.
Football.
I know you don't really hear that in December, and especially when we're not going to a bowl.
Yeah.
We got recruiting news today. Had signing day, National Signing Day, so big exciting news.
Yeah, early signing day, becoming actual signing day.
Okay, let me see here if we have anything. Wow.
Jared, is that you?
Yeah, it's because I plugged my phone in to charge while I watched the Belmont and Western game, and Jared Savage just missed a 3 to start. Sweet!
Good!
Yay!
No, instead of going through the whole class, because there were 17 guys, I thought we could all, we could talk with just very generally how we think Helton did in his first recruiting class, and then kind of, pick our favorite player. Jared's already got dibs on the punter.
And the 2 Franklin Simpson kids.
And the 2 Franklin. I figured you'd have the Franklin Simpson kids, though the O lineman is on my list because of the swipe from Louisville.
He's legit.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, Satterfield should not have dropped him. That's a dumb move.
That's so bad. Jared, why don't you go first? Since you have a little more knowledge with these kids, and I honestly don't.
Yeah, so me being a Franklin resident, I've seen them play. They've been in the state championship the past 3 years, have won the last 2. And Trey Bass, he's going to be a good addition too. I think he's going to be a walk-on, but he's smaller. He's 5'8", which is still taller than me. But he is really quick. What he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for in speed. He's going to be a really good asset as far as maybe using him on a running back play on shotgun as a screen kind of thing, and then make all these people miss and then take off. He has that kind of potential. And of course, Randolph, he's been one of the solid offensive linemen, was originally committed to U of L. And of course, you know how all of that's gone. Jake knows more about that than I do, but
yeah,
now he's going to Western. I didn't even see where Western offered him at all. It's just kind of cool, he's going to Western, sweet. Which I'm kind of glad he got a scholarship too, because one thing that kind of makes me mad about Western is that they see the Franklin Simpson players that are actually pretty good. And they're like, they're from Franklin. We'll just have them walk on and all that stuff.
Yeah,
because it's all Franklin Simpson. They never really offer him a scholarship. They always try to make him walk on because a local kid thing, which I don't necessarily agree with. But, it's good that 2 Franklin people would be on there. But I'm hyped for this Australian punter because, 1, Australia. 2, he's 6'5".
and 230.
3, it's a win-win. It's going to be beautiful. I want to see him used in some type of trick play, though. That would be really cool because I don't know how many defenders have had to tackle a punter that's 6'5".
Yeah, seriously, the kid's a monster. He's 6'5", 230. He's tight end size.
That's like Kavarius Thomas size. Okay,
yeah, seriously, he's a big kid. And what's funny is he doesn't... I don't know, the picture of him, again, you got to take the measurements that the football team gives you with a grain of salt. Add 2 inches to their height and 15 pounds to their weight, always.
Depending on the position, yeah.
That's true. He looks kind of scrawny in the picture, but he does look, he's a tall guy.
Well, yeah, 6'5". That's really tall.
That's a tall guy, especially in football. So my kind of player that I'm really excited for after I started looking through all the bios and rankings, all that fun stuff, is Josh Simon, who signed with us as a tight end, but he was a wide receiver in high school. I watched some of his huddle stuff today at work. I found a minute to do that. And the dude's fast.
So,
what?
The greatest thing we've got to do is every time he scores, we just be like, Simon says, touchdown!
Dude, for real, yeah, absolutely. They probably were already doing that at his high school. But he's 6'5", 230. I think he's actually more 6'4", 215 according to his huddle tape and stuff. But I'm really happy to see another receiving tight end come to Western. We are tight end U, and we are, I mean, honestly, when you start looking like NFL dudes, like our most successful guys are tight ends, between Captain Jack and Higbee. So I'm pretty pumped about him. Clayton Bush is another one from South Warren who's walking on. I think he is walking on, isn't he?
No, he's got a scholarship.
Because he was the first
Clayton's on there.
commit, right?
Well, he's got a star.
Yeah, he was like one of the
It's his
very
early
first
enrollee.
ones.
Yeah, he was like the very first one of the 19 class. Local kid. South Warren wasn't around when I was in high school, so I don't hate him for any reason.
I have no reason. And there is a former Western quarterback that coaches their team.
Yeah, he's their
Brandon
coach.
Smith, yes.
Yeah, so I think that's awesome. There's lots of good kids up and down this, but those are kind of the two that I'm really excited for.
I hate to interrupt you, but I'm watching the Belmont Western game. It's currently 2-2, just like 3 minutes in, and Merrick Nelson just missed like a wide open layup, and I'm still bitter about it.
I will be too.
I can hear the bitterness in his
voice. Embrace the salt. Embrace it.
Has anybody mentioned Manny Allen?
No,
but he's going to be awesome.
I am excited about Manny Allen, not just because he was the first kid on the list, but of course, my wife and I watched the show This Is Us.
Oh God, why?
Okay, Jared, do you watch the show?
No.
Good.
Do you know what it's famous for, Jared?
Maybe.
Tears. Just everyone with
it's
tears.
so dramatic. It's so ridiculous.
Oh, wait, I do know what you're talking about.
It's a show that makes everyone cry. It's a show that like grown men
Yeah.
are just weeping.
So the show, one of the kids is on this show, and he's known as the Manny.
The Manny.
So that is
So we're
that
going to call
just makes
Manny Allen the Manny.
the Manny.
Done.
He's got to be the
Done.
Manny. He played for Rancho Verde High School out of Mariano Valley, California.
No.
He helped to lead the Knights to 13-1 record, while outscoring opponents 690 to 195. That is like Manning, 98 Manning scores.
Pretty much,
I mean,
yeah.
that's just
That's
John
wild.
John Madden, sorry.
Yeah, that's
Madden scores.
pretty
That's
wild.
just ridiculous.
I mean, he was a former 4-star recruit
Yeah.
before he was in this class. He was at USC and Nebraska, committed to two of them before coming to Western. So it's a good get.
This is why football signing day is exciting for me, where when you see that people have committed, it's not exciting.
Right.
Because these kids can flop, and like, for instance, like basketball, where the kids will sign, basketball kid signs or verbally commits, it's done. Nobody
much.
else talks to them. It's basically in stone.
Yeah, you
Now-
don't see a lot of flipping in basketball.
No, football, it's like high school dating.
Yeah,
it's like,
just everywhere.
hey, and you're like, hey, Nebraska, what's up? Looking good. Loving that O-line. Yeah. Get that, girl. Oh, hey, there's Western. Hey, Western, what's up?
I don't like you no more, Scott Frost.
Yeah. Thanks, House.
You don't win. You don't win fast enough. You're terrible.
Let's see if I can find some else. Do we mention Ricky Barber?
No, is he the kid from Doss?
Yes, he is from Doss High School in Louisville. I love local kids.
Yep. Jared already stole the Franklin kids, or I'd mention them. I love it when you get in-state kids, and especially, Louisville, I'm fine with that. He played for the Dragons. His coach is Philip Hawkins. He was a third-team Courier Journal All-State honoree after his junior season, so not even this year. He's a 3-star kid, which I don't count that. I'm sorry. He's DT, he's a defensive tackle, 270 pounds and 6'3". So he's a good-sized kid. And the O-line guys we got were just under 300, most of them. So they were actually pretty decent size.
As the famous
18-year-olds.
As the famous Matthew McConaughey meme is, you got to pump them numbers up, son.
Right, gotta get above 300.
Got Jordan Flack. He's a 2-star kid coming from Brewer High School, Somerville, Alabama. 6'5", 300 pounds. Dude, he is tall as all get out.
Well, and here's the deal, too. Okay, so he's that now, today, pre-college strength training.
Yes.
That's good.
Until Dwayne Hall gets a hold of him, yes,
Well,
son.
and that's one of those things that you talk about. So if you look at the breakdown of the positions that we got built up, and I love Helton. I like Helton, but he's boring as crap in press conferences. Which, on one hand, as a fan, I like.
Yeah.
Don't say nothing stupid.
Yeah.
Don't get us in the news for anything dumb.
Don't cuss Penny Hardaway, yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk above his head like Sanford did. Ooh.
He doesn't do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Burn. Can we do the...
Don't go after Utah State like that.
Well, when are people going to figure out that he's not that good at football?
Are you talking about Sanford?
Yeah, when are they going to figure that out? You think it's Utah State, or he's got one more hop?
He'll hop around.
Yeah, but
It's not-
continually hop down the ladder.
I don't know if it's going to be down or if it'll just be across.
Like he'll just
He's gonna
stay
do-
like a QB coach?
He's going to be like a Frogger, and he's just going to keep going. I think he'll be OC for a while. He'll may get another head coaching gig. I don't know. I don't think it'll be anything big. It'll be like Troy State or somewhere like that. But
yeah, when Matt Brown leaves, when Stoops leaves.
yeah, we did get another kid from Glasgow. Did somebody mention that?
Mm-mm.
Wide receiver from Glasgow High School. He's a Scotty. Sorry. There's a lot of hatred between Allen County and the Scotties, but glad to have you on board, buddy. He's a 6'3", 180-pound receiver.
Dalvin Smith.
Dalvin Smith, yes. Did I not mention his name?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm sorry, Dalvin. Kid did great. He got 67 passes for 920 yards and 13 touchdowns, rushed 65 times for 582 yards and 8 touchdowns. So, I mean, and of course he played defense too. He played both sides of the ball.
A lot of these kids in high school, I mean,
Yeah.
you guys come
Yeah.
in playing both sides of the ball if you got the talent.
Yeah, if you can, you go for it.
And especially at, like, I don't want to say Glasgow's a smaller like school, but they're not like...
They're 3A, I think.
Yeah, and so they don't have, just the roster size is not going to be as deep. So you're going to, as far as talent goes, so if somebody's good, Hoss, get out there.
Here's my thing, too. This kid comes in as a wide receiver. He may not play wide receiver his entire career.
Yeah,
he could go to corner.
Yeah.
We've had that happen. Even during my tenure, we had kid's name was Darius Brooks. He's a prime example. Started at wide receiver, had some issues. They flipped him to defensive back. He did even better.
Yeah.
I mean, he was...
Well, I mean, they said that about Clayton Bush in the press conference. That's kind of what I was getting at. He was talking about how... Helton was talking about the needs they feel. It was funny because he's not going to say anything bad about like the position groups that already are here. But he was like, yeah, we added depth at O-line and depth at receiver.
You got to have depth at O-line because those guys, they can go down. They need breaks. I mean, you got to get them flipped in and out.
But it's just funny because he didn't want to be like, hey, we need help because we didn't perform like we wanted to.
Yeah, and I mean, well, that's obvious.
Yeah, I mean, but it's just funny because... I mean, the coach has to say that. You can't talk bad about the kid you're about to coach. I totally get it. But it's just funny because he's like, I don't want to call him milquetoast, but he's kind of boring in the press conferences. So let's hope that the on-field is much more exciting.
Yeah, Hoss.
Yeah, Hoss.
The funniest thing for me is you see these kids' write-ups, and they've got these big write-ups. Clayton. Yeah,
Well,
that's what I thought. Okay.
Especially local because he's got local reporters helping.
So you got Clayton Bush. He is actually Dr. Wayne Bush's son.
Yeah, and his dad played.
Just so you know, just so you know. I knew this kid when he was younger. But anyway, he's probably a good kid, great and everything. But what I was going to say is John Hargady, or is that how you say it? Haggerty?
Haggerty.
Everybody else has this big write-up, 3 or 4 sentences or whatever. It says, here's his bio. Attended Tom Hackett Punting Academy, ranked 17th in the 2019 class among punters, including 5th as an Australian-style punter. So, not only is he Aussie, he's going Aussie punt style. I love that. That's got a lot of potential there, and I love it.
Yeah, for sure.
Do y'all have anything else on recruiting?
I mean, overall,
I just think it's a really good class. I mean, he was able to retain a lot of the people that were recruited by Sanford, and plus get all these other people coming out of the woodwork kind of at the last minute. And I think he did a really solid job. He filled a lot of gaps he needed to, and I'm pretty excited.
I am too. Numbers-wise, we got 5 wide receivers. Skimming, got defensive end, 2 DTs, 1, 2, 3 offensive linemen. Punter, a safety, tight end, cornerback, 2 cornerbacks. Yeah.
And we can go through, when basketball season's over, we don't have lots to talk about. We'll go through and really talk about the roster and where we see who's going to be starters, who might make. Because the cool thing, you got 17 kids in this class that are just signees, not walk on other stuff. But 10 of them are early enrollees, so they're going to have a full semester of practice. They're going to be here for spring ball.
Yep.
So they've got a shot. I mean, some of these guys, you think maybe Manny Allen or maybe some of the offensive line kids.
So 9 out of 16 are early enrolls.
Is it, or 10 out of 17 maybe? I don't know. Is it just 9?
Okay, yeah, 1, 2.
But anyways, there's still quite a few,
Okay, 10.
most.
Damn, I can't count.
No, he can't. It's
1,
okay.
2,
Neither of us
3.
are math guys. But, which you need to be, because you have
It
to
is
like measure
10.
stuff in your job.
Yeah, but it's with a string and a ruler. It's nothing
No,
major.
hey, it's a string and a ruler.
It's nothing major. I mean, it's not anything that you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I had to add up loan fees the other day, and I like kept screwing it up, and I was just like, why can't... Oh, because I just forgot to hit that button. Got it. Got it.
Literally, okay.
That's why I did not go to math school. I went to law school.
There are, I don't think it's called math school. Isn't it like financial academy or
There's all
business
kinds of
school?
stuff. You can
or
get your
something?
doctorate in math.
Yeah, but those are like professors.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Okay. So from that aside, we're a week out, less than a week out from Christmas, and we're going to rank our favorite and least favorite Christmas gifts we've gotten.
Yeah, because Devin had a sad childhood, so he just remembers the bad stuff.
Yes.
He-
I'm a pessimist. I can't help it.
Yeah. See, right. So Devin's an optimist when it comes to sports, but a pessimist in the rest of life.
Yep. I'm a
I'm
realist in the rest of life, so I'm not disappointed.
There you go.
You just got to think of things realistically, and
That's
then you will never be disappointed.
All right, Jerry, what are your favorite Christmas gifts?
All right, so I tried to think of like what my favorite gift was as like a little kid, because I mean that's when Christmas is so special and like pure, is when you're like a child and like Santa comes and you wake up at like 4:00 in the morning on Christmas Day.
By the way,
and,
Santa's real.
My present is there. It's exactly what I wanted. That's so cool.
If there are any kids
But-
listening, Santa's real. Don't let anybody tell you any different.
Exactly. I still believe in Santa Claus.
Me too.
And it's required at my house and not my house specifically, but at my parents' house, that if you don't believe in Santa Claus, you don't get presents for
That's
Christmas.
right, because he only brings you presents if you believe in them. That's how that
Exactly.
works. Isn't that right, Jerry?
Yeah, it's true. Very true. But say number three. Number 3 for me was this toy aircraft carrier I got. I can't remember how old I was, but it was pretty big. It was at least like 3 or 4 feet long, and it floated and everything. And I got like these toy planes to put on top of it, and I would go to my uncle's pool in the summer and like take it with me, and it'd be like an actual like aircraft carrier thing. It was really cool. I really liked it a lot. It's one of my favorite things
That
I've
is super cool.
And number 2, I would have to say my first real electric guitar, which was a really nice. It was a Paul Reed Smith guitar for those of you musicians out there that know what that means. I got that my freshman year of high school. That was really nice. But my number 1 would have to be, sentimentally, the first guitar that I ever got when I was 9 at Christmas time. Like, it was just because I liked Brad Paisley a lot. I heard him on the radio. Belmont grads, by the way, watching that game right now. And Western's holding in there 11-12. Not bad. Belmont, we're in the lead now, 13-12. Cool.
Nice.
But, I was a big Brad Paisley fan and everything. And I was like, oh, guitar is so cool. I want to get one. So I got like a crappy First Act guitar for Christmas. But that led to me becoming a musician, a Western alum from the music department and the guitar ensemble, playing in Van Meter and all that fun stuff. And it's what I do for a living kind of right now. So it's really cool.
I mean, he basically gives you advice in songs to do stuff like, start a band.
Yeah, right.
That's a song. That's one of his songs. That's a great song. Jake,
Yeah,
I'll let you go next, I guess.
My favorites, my 3, I actually went back and forth on 3 and 1, because they're both game systems, because I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
So number 3 for me was my Nintendo 64.
Okay.
When I was like 8 years old.
Okay.
First actual, like, because we had Game Boys before. I had a Game Boy before,
Yes,
like when I was like 6 or
yes.
7. You had Pokemon Blue,
Yeah.
and I had Red.
Yeah.
I remember that. There's a reason I got Red, because
Yeah.
you said you had Blue. But
But neither of us had the link cable to trade crap.
we did not know.
You had a little buddy named Avery.
Avery
that
had
did, yes.
one, and so we did that a few times.
Yes.
But no, so the N64 was first console that was ever just like mine. There were consoles in my house. Like I think we had a Sega Genesis, but the N64 was mine, and I just remember like playing so much Super Smash Brothers, and
The N64 was probably one of the better.
it was just so good. The pod racing game that we played the other night, like, so fun. Because Evan's got a 64, like hanging out back here.
I'm that
it's his-
old geek guy who just went out and bought a 64 and a PS2.
Yeah. So that was number 3 for me. Number 2 was from when I was like pretty small, like maybe 6. This was like a big cool present. I got all like 5 of the we had to look this up. The Zeo, right? Was that what
Yes,
it was?
the Zeo Zords.
Power Rangers Zords that formed into like the big one because you like folded them up and like stacked them all together and they made this like 18-inch tall like awesome robot mech thing. If you're not familiar with Power Rangers, what's wrong with you? What was wrong with your childhood?
Yeah, I mean, who didn't kick their grandma at some point?
I know, right? An accident, for a purpose, whatever. But yeah, so that was number 2. That was super duper cool. And then number 3, solely because of one video game, was the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
I got it at launch. I had to wait till Christmas to play it.
Well, yeah.
Except maybe I did sneak it one time when nobody was home and play Call of Duty 2 for like 8 hours. But whatever. But the reason that made it was there was a game called Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, which I have hundreds of hours into. It is the best Elder Scrolls game, in my opinion.
Have you played it more or Skyrim?
I've played it more than I have Skyrim.
Really? Okay.
And I've put 200-some hours on Skyrim on my computer, in addition to what I put on the 360. But Oblivion, I've probably beaten Oblivion like, I don't know, maybe a dozen or two times.
I'm going to change your life right now. Skyrim's on the Switch.
It is on the Switch, but the graphics are downgraded and I can't mod it.
Oh, well, mods would be
the mods are what make it on the PC.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is on the Switch, and it's so awesome because you can play Skyrim, like, outside.
Wherever, yeah.
Like, taking a poop, you can play Skyrim, which is so freaking cool.
That's why I love the Switch.
Oh, the Switch is so great.
The Switch is
I
the
lost my
greatest.
power cord to my Switch. I gotta go buy another one.
You gotta go to.
I have no
They're
idea.
not that bad.
They're like
though.
$10. I can get
Yeah,
one.
well, they're not $10, but yeah, because
I found one on Amazon for $10.
Then I would buy it.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
most
right?
definitely.
But yeah, that was mine. It's solely because of. I mean, that was the console I put the most. Like, I still play on my Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Like, I still play Madden, not
Yeah.
Madden, NCAA 14.
Yeah.
With the tops and the SEC.
Okay, so I wasn't specifically, about game systems or anything. I think my first system I got for Christmas was a PS1.
Yeah, because you always had the PlayStation.
Yeah, and the frustrating thing for me, which I can't really say anything because it's my dad's fault. When I was a kid, he bought it from somebody that he worked with, got it for me for Christmas. I had a bunch of games with it, loved the game system, but he would watch my little brother downstairs in the basement at night, and my little brother would take the games out of the folder. Of course, he doesn't remember this. Put them in it, not like it's supposed to be, and then slam it down, and broke so many of my games, and I was so frustrated.
Yeah. He's little bitty.
Yeah, but he was, and you can't be mad about that because he was little and he didn't know any better. And it was my dad's fault because he let him do it.
Yeah, he's watching.
He's watching him. Yeah, right. He's watching like Lone Wolf McQuaid for the 20th time. But
he loves that movie.
It's a great movie.
It is a great movie.
But my favorite I'll go favorite system is probably either the PS2 or the 360 that I got for Christmas. Both of them are great consoles, and you can literally just put hours into them.
PS2 up until like the last they just stopped making like games for the PS2. By the way, like 3 years ago, they were making
a little longer than that. They stopped making for the PS3 a few years back. You can look it up if you want to.
Yeah, I just remember I saw it on a YouTube video the other day where they were talking about how the PS2 was like arguably the best system ever.
Yeah,
they were, like listing off the reasons why.
It was amazing in its heyday, though. That was where it was at.
Oh my gosh!
Well, they kept like releasing like new stuff on it, even when the new stuff was coming out on like the PS3.
Oh, yeah.
They'd release like a PS2 version still because so many people had them.
Yeah,
especially like we always think about like the U.S. game market, but the Japanese game market.
Oh yeah,
is super duper heavy on Sony and Nintendo. Xbox doesn't really have a huge following over there. And legit, like, Jared, did you just fart?
No, that was my phone. Sorry.
There are so many fart jokes you could do.
Sure, it was your phone.
I have my phone propped up and I'm watching the Belmont game. Please forgive me. I have to say this, is that Belmont has taken a 3 on 4 of their last 5 possessions and have made 4 of their last 5. So.
Jeez.
Oh, that's so depressing.
So what's the score now?
It's 26-19. I think it just went to commercial break.
Of course.
That would probably be my favorite system. I mean, I'm not going to rank them because different people have bought them, and I don't want to make anybody mad of my family members that listen. Probably number 2, earliest childhood toy that I remember is I got a train for Christmas right before my dad got deployed to the Desert Storm. And that's probably like the earliest one I remember, and I played with that thing for years. And you lose the tracks first off; those things disappear.
Those are gone.
They are gone. And I remember for years I had just like a caboose, and I don't even know where the rest of them are probably. And I would just be playing with those.
I remember that thing. I remember the red caboose thing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Probably one of my favorite ones that was just, it shouldn't have been. It was just some toy that my parents picked up for some reason. I don't even know why. back in the mid 90s, I want to say, mid to late 90s, before it ever became a movie, there was an Alien versus Predator toy line.
I did not know that.
They were about 12 inches tall, and I still have the Alien at my parents' house, but I've lost the Predator, which I love.
That's
Predator.
sad, 'cause
And if you've seen my room, and if we ever do a video, I've got Predator action figures on the walls.
He does.
Yes.
He has them mounted.
And I've got of course, Pop Funkos everywhere and everything.
Because we are super nerds.
Oh, I have no problem admitting it. But that would probably be some of my favorites. Least favorite, no names, but they'll know if they listen to this. Is I've gotten
Stewart
shirts.
Family?
No, not Stewart family. In-laws. Sorry. I've gotten white shirts for Christmas before. I've got a family member that's not an in-law, who always buys us gifts, who does not know my correct size, so everything's too small. Even when I wasn't... Oh, there's Jared.
Jared. I think. Do we have
Here we
Jared?
go, Jared.
It died on me. I don't know what happened.
It's all that phone buzzing.
That's what it was. The vibrator set too hard.
Yep.
So the what I was saying was some of my least favorite white shirts for work, which I mean I need them, but it sucks to get those for Christmas.
Shirts that don't fit.
Shirts that don't fit, and probably the least favorite would be like something that I actually need that I don't want.
Jared, how do you feel about socks for Christmas?
It depends if you actually have a need for them. If they just give them to you because,
Like
then
good
it's
socks.
obviously pretty bad. But I mean,
I had this discussion with my EVP today about how good.
Least favorite gift for me is cologne, because that's got a double standard. Well, it's either the cologne you don't use, or they think you stink. That's my thought every time I get cologne. It's like
if somebody gets you a treadmill, you're like, oh, you say I'm fat. You work out. Like, don't get your wife a gym membership.
Oh no.
That's the worst.
My wife and I had the Wii. We loved our Wii when we played for years.
Just saying, your wife loved your Wii.
The game system, yes, the Nintendo Wii. She does like my Wii, but so one year the same person bought us both the Wii Fits. And I just kind of was like, what are you saying? That's what I wanted to say. And I didn't say anything at the time, but later on I said something to them. And they were like, oh my God, we didn't even look. We went in the game store and they were like, okay, that says Wii, get it. And they didn't even pay attention that they were the same thing. And I was like, oh my gosh.
That's great.
I took it to GameStop and got like $1.50. You know, that's how it goes.
Yeah, right. Nightmare. All right, well, Jared, do you have anything else before we let you go to stream the Belmont game?
I mean, Belmont is shooting over 50% from deep right now. There's about 5 minutes left in the first half. We're down by 8, which is a lot better than I thought it would be, but we'll see what happens. Either we're going to come back on here and we'll be happy with the way things kind of turned out, but I don't know.
We shall see. We will be taking a hiatus for 2 weeks, guys, because of iTunes, just so you all know. There's a lot of technicality.
Season,
yeah, well, excuse me. They're going on vacation at iTunes, so the uploading speed's going to be dropped by like days. So there's no reason for us to try until after the new year. So we will see you all next year.
That's right. See you in 2019, guys.
Yeah. So as always, remember, go Tops.
Go Tops.
Go Tops.